Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Best of 2019 series. Today, we will be talking about overgrips. Now, it's important that I explain how this is working. So when I say best of 2019, it doesn't necessarily mean new products. It just means products that you could have purchased in the year 2019. So I think for all three of the overgrips that I am going to highlight in this video, they have all been around for much longer than just this year. I also want to briefly point out the major problem with this series is that I haven't tried everything. Okay, so these are just based on what I've tried, and that obviously causes some problems. So feel free to leave your favorite overgrips in the comments below, and then please explain why. Now, with overgrips, and this is the reason why this video is coming first, is that there's definitely going to be a lot of debate, okay? By no means is this going to be some kind of definitive top 3 overgrips of all time or anything like that. There's different categories, and so depending on the type of player are and what your needs are, that determines the category of overgrip that you're going to purchase and you're going to use and what you're going to be comparing. Okay, I think that's the important thing, because before I even get into my top 3, I basically have to exclude 3 different categories that I just don't use because it doesn't work for me. So it's important that I explain this to you guys. With my racket, I always get 4 1/4 grip size, and then I build it up with an overgrip that's either 0.5 or 0.6 millimeters, and I guess you'd call it like width or thickness. I don't really know. Doesn't matter. But that's the way I do it, and that's the way I've always done it. Doesn't mean it's the right way. That's just what works for me. So I basically never even use the undergrip, which of a best of series, that would actually probably be the more interesting and informative, but I just don't even worry about that, okay? I just pretty much use whatever comes on the racket, then I build up from 4 1/4. So let's talk about the different categories of overgrips and what I don't use. We'll start with the perforated ones, the ones with all the little holes in them. Not a fan of those at all. They're usually thinner, and they're designed, I think, more than anything else to keep the undergrip clean. Okay, so you replace those ones very frequently. They wear down quickly. Wilson makes one that's very popular. A friend of mine swears by it. I've tried them a couple times, cannot stand them at all. I hate the feel of them, so I gotta throw that one out the window. We're not gonna be talking about any perforated overgrips. They're not gonna make the list. The second category is the cloth type overgrip, and most people are familiar with the Turner-grip. That is an example of what I call like a cloth-like overgrip. It doesn't feel like anything else, any other overgrip. Really designed to not slip. So if you have super duper sweaty hands, that is probably the overgrip for you. And while I do like the Turner-grip and I appreciate it, the issue for me is that like when it gets cold and you're playing outside and you use a Turner-grip, it just feels awful. There's no comfort, there's no cushion. It's a unique feel. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I like the way the Turn Attack feels, I'll be honest. But again, I'm going to get into that category next, which are super tacky overgrips, or just tacky overgrips in general. And I love the feel of those when I'm not playing. So if I string a racket and someone's given me a tacky grip to put on, I usually like holding it in my hand. I'm like, ooh, this feels nice. The problem for me, and I've tried dozens of tacky overgrips, is that when I do actually use them and my hand starts to sweat, they do slip. So for a lot of people who don't have like sweaty hand syndrome like I've got, it's not an actual, I don't actually have like a serious problem, but it is an issue. I can't use them to play because I feel my hands slip. If I'm just teaching and my hand's not sweating, I like the feel of them, but for actual competitive play purposes, I can't use them. And that brings us to our final category and what is going to exist in this top 3. And those are the comfort type overgrips. Okay, and that's pretty much everything else. Most companies do release at least a couple different comfort type overgrips, and then the thickness varies. Okay, so you have some super thin ones ranging all the way up, like 0.3, 0.4 millimeters, up to like 0.7, 0.8 millimeters of the really, really thick ones. And for me, again, it has to kind of be 0.5, 0.6, somewhere in that range is what I prefer to go over my 4 1/4 undergrip size. So let's go ahead. Let's do our top 3. They're all very similar. I have 2 out of the 3 with me. Number 3 is the Yonex. Let's see if I can find it. Ouch. The Yonex Super Grap. I believe that's what it's called. used a lot of these in my day. If there's like a good deal or something, I'll pick up a bunch of them. Really appreciate the way this one feels. When you put it on, you sometimes have to stretch it a little more than others, but it's definitely a good grip. If you have sweaty hands like I do, the exterior works really well. It absorbs a lot of the sweat. It doesn't get super duper slippery in the hand. Okay, so Yonex Super Grip for me would be number 3. Really like that grip. And I think I said from the beginning, the margins, the differences between these grips is not very great. Number 2 would be the Babolat Pro Tour Overgrip. I used that for about a year when I got a bunch of them for free when I bought a couple rackets, and unfortunately the doorbell just went off, so that kind of ruined the video. We're gonna leave it in because I've gone so far and I've tried a few times. The Babolat Pro Tour I don't know why I just did that either. The Babolat Pro Tour Overgrip, if again there's a really good sale on it, I'll pick up a bunch of those. Love the thickness on that grip, love the feel of it. Definitely one that you can't go wrong with if you're in the market for comfort. Now they are a little bit expensive. If you buy a 3-pack from Tennis Warehouse, it's like $8, which seems absolutely ridiculous. If you buy your grips in bulk, you can usually get them for about $1 a grip. So it's just a matter of kind of finding that deal and finding, and this is what I'm saying. For these 3, they're kind of interchangeable. But I definitely love the Babolat Pro Tour Overgrip. And then number 1, and this is a no-brainer for me, and this grip has been out forever. It's been something that I've used pretty much since I've started using Overgrips, and I just haven't found anything better. And I've tried from so many different companies and so many different promises. The number 1, probably no surprise to a lot of you guys, is the Wilson Pro Tour Overgrip. Nothing fancy, no extra features. This is just a phenomenal overgrip. In my opinion, the greatest of all time as far as overgrips are concerned, used all over the Pro Tour. And it's just an amazing overgrip. It just does what it's supposed to do. And again, the margins between this, the Babolat, and the Yonex offering, not great, but this is the best one. It just feels the best for me. I buy them 100 at a time, and I go through them really quickly, but I absolutely love this overgrip, and I wouldn't want to change it for anything else. And like I said, I've tried a lot of different companies and options when it comes to overgrips. So for 2019, in my opinion, the best overgrip that you can buy, money can buy, the Wilson Pro Tour Overgrip. Like I said, if you have any different feelings, you have opinions, you have your own power list, if you want to put that down in the comment section, feel free to do so. And next year, after I've tried probably another 5 or 10 overgrips, we'll see if anything can dethrone this guy. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to happen. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back with more of these best of 2019 tennis gear series very soon. Take care.